For today's 6-minute makeover, we're going to look at a brand new shop on Etsy called Lifestyle Habits. Our seller has come to me because she doesn't understand how to make consistent sales on Etsy. She's saying that SEO isn't working for her anymore and she's not seeing any results. So let's dive in and get started. I see this all the time in new shops where people just add a few things. They're basically testing the water to see if Etsy will work for them. But the reality is that 7 items are nearly impossible to find on Etsy. Even if you were a Google mastermind and you knew all things SEO all the time, the likelihood that you could make regular sales with only 7 items is small. Not to mention, when a customer comes to your shop and sees this, they think, oh, well, she's not taking her shop seriously. She doesn't have a lot of options. I don't understand what's going on here. And when I look at something on Etsy, I click into the shop because I want a variation on that thing. So when I'm in your shop, I'm here looking for different variations. Now, the other thing I often see with new shops is using the same photos or mock-ups over and over and over again. So these mock-ups are absolutely beautiful, and I agree that she should be using some of them, but when you repeat your stuff like this, there's no difference to the customer between these items. So I don't know just by looking at this what the differences are between these menu plans and these weight loss kits. They basically look like maybe they're different colors. I don't know. They could be different sizes. And the titles aren't helping me to figure out what the difference is because they're pretty similar, if not identical. When you're using terms that are this close, you're really not getting the benefit of using varied SEO. By naming your items the same thing over and over and over again, you're actually severely limiting your traffic because only people who are searching for those words or combination of words are ever going to find your shop. When you have items that look this similar, using the title to designate the difference for your customer can be a big help in terms of what they click on. So one of the things you can do if you have a brand new shop and you're trying to figure out what you should be doing is find some top sellers on Etsy and compare yourself to them to see what they're doing. So let's compare her to some top planner sellers so we can see what things she can adjust now to make sales more rapidly. This shop is planning inspired. It has over 29,000 sales. If we scroll down, we'll notice she has 176 items, quite a bit more than our current seller. And you'll notice that she's naming her items very differently. Not to mention, all of her covers are different and clearly designate why things are different. So this is really helping me look through this shop. Let's take a look at another one. We have 13,000 sales right here. This shop owner has 268 items, and she's doing all kinds of templates, digital stuff, and other forms of planners. And once again, the images are different, the titles are different, and it's pretty straightforward in terms of telling what's going on here. One of the things I've noticed in this kind of shop is when I'm looking at this listing, I can read what's going on here, and I can kind of see what's happening on each page. Whereas if we look at her shop, I'm not entirely clear what's happening on some of these smaller pages. So maybe just having a bigger template so that when people are searching for an item, they can clearly tell what it is. This is a great opportunity to test your photos. There are tools like Whatify that will actually take the first 2 photos of your Etsy items and pit them against each other to see which one sells better. So if you have the same template over and over again and you want to try different sizes or different text on them, use a program like Whatify to test your photos and see if that makes a difference in sales. Now let's keep looking at some big sellers. Here we've got a planner seller that's making almost 18,000 sales. And once again, the image is larger. The titles are pretty varied. And we've got 180 items here. So it seems clear that there's a pattern in terms of why she's not getting sales versus other people who are. The number one most obvious pattern is number of items. There's nothing that SEO will do to fix a lack of items. A big part of SEO is having enough items to get found on Etsy. When you search planner on Etsy, there are over 500,000 results, so having very few items means you're literally a needle in a haystack. Nobody's going to find 7 items in a pool of 500,000. Now this niche is pretty small, And that means if you create a lot of items, you can really dominate on Etsy. A large niche is 1 million or more, so creating tons of items means you could get your items on the first page of search just by fact that you have lots of items. Since this is a digital storefront, creating lots of items is something that can easily be done, so there's really no reason to have an empty digital shop. So that's our 6-minute makeover for today. Thanks so much to our shop owner for participating, and don't forget to check below the video for any resources or tricks that I mention in this video.